Hi there, I am Christine Josti of Mail Something Pretty, and I want to show you these pretty cards. This is a great stamp set called Penciled Pear, and it really, all the artistry is done for you, and you just have to add a little color, or not, because they actually look pretty black and white, or even brown and white, as just like a penciled image. So it's a set that I'm enjoying, and so I just want to show you how to put these simple cards together. And I really like the color combination I used, and I'm going to tell you what those are as well. I have kind of my pieces here. We did this as a club project, so I figured you might want to see it as well. All right, I'll put those kind of aside for now. So I decided to use soft sea foam. I think it's like a hidden gem color. A lot of people forget about it or don't realize what the color is. It's definitely a neutral, but it pairs really nicely together. And this is Pool Party, and I really like the combination. And to me, it's like this soft winter color. We're approaching winter now, and I just thought these would make really nice thank you notes after Christmas. And so it just is nice. And so I used I think it's called the Distressed Tile. I'm sorry, I don't have it up here. Embossing folder. You can use lots of different ones, but I just thought that was really nice. And so those are kind of my colors, and then we're just going to color the pear, and it's super easy. I cut out I used this is for my stitched rectangles. You could use any kind of rectangle shape out of watercolor paper. You could certainly do this with regular paper, but the watercolor paper gives this, it's a much more rich look. And because we're not really doing much to this card, I like that kind of the texture of the watercolor. So I'm using my Stays On Black ink, and it's a bigger stamp, or I have it on a bigger block, and so I'm inking it upside down. I'm going to put it not exactly in the middle. I'm going to have it up a little bit more than totally centered, because we're going to put a little thank you on there. There we go. So look, it looks like I sketched it, and I didn't. It's super easy. And so for this card, I'm going to use my watercolored pencils. You could use, there's lots of different coloring ways to put color on here. You can pick up with either your water painter or your blending pen some color from an ink pad to apply. You could certainly use a blending markers, but I would use Memento ink if you're using blending markers or blends markers. Everything is like similar. There's blending markers, blends markers, blending brush, blender pen. So I think you can understand why I got a little mixed up. All right, so actually I'm gonna use a bigger tip. The water painters, you get 3 tips. I just have 2 here, but you get more of a fine tip. This one's a little bit bigger. I like it because it's like a paintbrush, and there's actually a wide one. It's like 3/4 inch wide, like a nice big wide brush. All right, so what I'm going to do is just color first. So I looked up on Google different colors of pears, and so I think I have one more. This one's similar. So these two are kind of like, and I don't eat pears, so I don't really know the names of pears, but I know there's different varieties. So whatever one is the red and the yellow kind of pear, and then these ones I did more green and yellow. So I have to decide, since I don't have my red out, I will just do the green one. So what I like to do, and you can kind of tell this is a pencil that I've used quite a lot because it's small. This is the Granny Apple Green. I like to kind of follow along. You can kind of see there's, you have all the sketch lines, but you can kind of see there's like a little movement or roundness in there. And so I actually am coloring right along that roundness. And that way, this juicy kind of part here, that's really gonna pop up. So I kind of did that on both sides. I'm going to go back. This is my old olive. So I'm going to just kind of follow along with that as well. Actually, I'm just going to go back and do the outline. So it's a little bit kind of lighter on the outline on the outside here. All right, and then I will just do the old olive here. There's another green. I forget, there's 2 packs of watercolor pencils. There's watercolor assortment 1 and assortment 2. And I forget which colors comes with which pack. So I kind of have all mine all mixed up. So this is crushed curry. So I've got a little, we're going to blend them all together. And I'm going to actually put a little crushed curry here. I am kind of coloring still in that movement. The contour, that's the word I'm looking for. And then I'm going to take my Daffodil Delight and just color this whole big middle here. Now you certainly can make your pear so it's realistic looking, or you could just do a funky pear like some artists do. I'm just adding a little bit of orange in there. Let's give it a little color. And I'll just finish this section off with my green apple green. Now you can even see I have some white spaces in there. I'm not too worried. I'll fill them in a little bit, but we're going to put water on top of it all, so it's all going to get kind of blended together. All right, so to look at that, doesn't look all that great. Oh, look, we're going to do our leaf. And I'm just going to use this kind of similar, same greens, old olive and greeny apple green. But once we put some water on there, you'll see. The other thing you can do is you can color lightly, or you can color very darkly, and that will change up your look as well. This I kind of did in between. There you go, crushed curry stem. And then for the bottom, I was using early espresso, so it's a pretty dark brown for the shadow. For the part that's closest to the bottom of the pear, that's touching the table, so you can kind of see I did there. And then I'm going to use, I don't think there's another, oh, Cajun Craze I can use. It's kind of a lighter brown. See, now it looks like it's sitting there, and I'm just going to add a little bit of old olive on the bottom of this pear, because it's usually the darkest is what's on the bottom. All right, so now I'm going to use my water painter. So I do have water on the inside, and it actually does say push, and if you push on both sides, the water will come out. But I kind of like using it as a paintbrush, and I just use a little tray of water, and I have a paper towel. And so I like to use the lighter color first, and I also kind of color in circles a little bit. And as I'm coloring circles, I can kind of pick up some of the color that's around if I want. If I don't quite want to pick up the color, if I want to do it on its own, I'll just clean it and then start fresh. And then I can go back. To me, it's kind of therapeutic to do this. This comes together, and then you can kind of pull in as much or as little color into the previous color that you did. Sometimes you want to blend colors together, and sometimes you don't. And then the watercolor paper absorbs and holds onto that water nicely, so it's not running. All right. You can kind of see it looks much more like a painting now than it did my scribbles. All right, and I think I'm going to leave that alone. I'll do the leaf. And the stem. And then I'm just going to do a little bit of the bottom here. And I'm taking a little bit of the color kind of beyond the lines, just to add that shadow. All right. cover my water because I have spilt it before. I'm going to pick this up carefully, so because it's obviously still wet, but you can see, there you go. So I should have, if I was smart, I should have had another one that was dry, and I don't. So let's see how fast that dries as I'm putting my card together. So I'm using the Pool Party on top of my soft sea foam. I love these two colors together. So look at your soft sea foam as a neutral instead of, you know, this will look pretty on a white background. And see what other colors pair nice, like navy blue pairs really nice with soft sea foam. So just kind of play around. Not every color does, but it's just I think a nice neutral. All right, so that's still drying. So let's stamp our thank you. And I just cut out a little piece, that one has a little wedge in it. Little piece of watercolor paper and my thank you. There we go. And you know what? Oh, I don't even have another piece of paper to show you. When I was designing the colors, I actually was going to use this color in its Pool Party, but I was going to use this in addition as a layer underneath. But then I actually really like the simplicity of that, and so I just put some, you can kind of see the birds through it, on the back of my envelopes. And I'd show you how to do that too, but I don't even have any extra pieces of paper. All right. I'm going to pause this video just to let this dry, and I'll just finish up the card for you. Okay, I think it's dry. It really doesn't take that long, but for a video, it, you know, takes way too long. So that's nice and dry, and actually while I was waiting, I did another one that is now still wet, but I pressed the pencils a little bit darker on this one versus this one. I don't know if you can even tell the difference or not, partly because it's still wet. But anyways, you have all variations of coloring you can do on your pears, which is kind of fun. So all we need to do, did I already glue this on? I forget. I did. Okay. All we need to do is just add a dimensionals onto the back of our pear. I have my little, I haven't showed you guys that in a while, my little cup for my dimensional pieces. All right, oops, now I got it stuck. And I'll put that right in the middle. And then I'm also going to pop up my thank you. I think I'll just, using the bits and pieces, what's left over, my sheet here. Oh, thank you. Oh, that was stuck to my mat. There you go. That's better. Oh, that's much better. Okay. So here you go. So you have several examples of different colored pears, but all on the same background of the soft sea foam in the Pool Party. And I really do think it's simplicity of what makes it beautiful. And you have that little texture, and I think it needs it. You could do a plain, the Pool Party, but I really do like a little texture back there, and there's lots of choices that you can use. So while I was waiting for that to dry as well, I wanted to show you, because I think it's kind of hidden in the catalog. It's really at the end, page 118. Here is the stamp set. And it shows you, even on here, different ways of coloring as well, but it's really nice. So I hope you like it too, and so if you need help ordering it, I'd be happy to help you. If you are new to me, thank you for watching the video, and you can see a whole bunch of things on my website at millsomethingpretty.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.